Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're gonna continue the questions of 2023 Foundation Tier Paper 2F. Question 11. Trisha asked 90 people to name their favorite type of cheese to put on a pizza. She's going to draw a pie chart for her results. 55 of the 90 people said the mozzarella was their favorite. Look at the size of the angle on the pie chart for the sector presenting mozzarella. So first, let's find the angle. To find the angle, focus on this. To find the angle of anything, you have to multiply the fraction that you make by 360. So to find the angle, divide the part number on the total number and multiply it by 60. Now, the part number is 55. So you're going to say 55 divide the total number, which is 90, and then take the fraction and multiply it by 360. So fraction times 360 times 360. And the answer will be, when you do it in the calculator, so 55 over 90 times 360. And the angle will be 220. So 220. Focus on this part. So to find the angle, divide the part number on the total number and then multiply it by 360. Now, let's move on to the next question. So 220. Bashir asked a different group of people to name their favorite ice cream flavor. He used his results to draw this pie chart. So these are the flavors, these are the angles. Now let's take a look at the question. 39 of the people or of people Hashir asked said that vanilla was their favorite. So 39 of the people said that it's their favorite. Vanilla was their favorite. Look how many people Hashir asked that chocolate was their favorite. Now, we know we don't know the total number, so we have to find out the total number so we can use it. Or we can use the method that we used before, but in the opposite way. So the idea is first, we know that 39 of the people were the vanilla people here. We can do the X method using the vanilla. We can say that 39 equals 195. And what number equals 75, which is the chocolate. We can use this method like this. So we can say this is number of people, and this is the angle, for example. I can use the X method like this, number of people. First, 39 of the people with the vanilla people, so the angle is 195. Now I need to know what's the number of people with a chocolate that has the angle of 75. So I can use it that way because I know that the chocolate was what, 75. Now I do the boxes, I put them on top of each number like this. And I do the X method to find the missing number like this. I put the X in the middle like this. And then I continue with the steps of the X method. So I'm going to multiply the ones connected with the line like this, and then divide them on the number that I didn't use. So in this method here, I'm going to multiply 39 by 75, and I'm going to take the answer and divide it by 195. And the final answer will be 15. So the number of people that said chocolate is their favorite is 15. This is one of the methods that you can use to find the answer here. Now, because you don't have the total number, there's another method that you can use by finding the total number and then using the total number with this angle. Now, how do you find the total number? Now, as I said before, when you divide the part over the total and then multiply it this and then multiply it by the angle sum, which is 360, it will give you the angle. This is one of the rules of pie charts. So when you do this, it will give you the angle. So basically, I know that 39 people are the vanilla people, so I can use them here. So the part number will be 39 over the total, let's call it T, and then multiply it by 360, will equal the angle of vanilla, which is 195. Now, this method is a little bit longer than the X method. The X method is easy, it's easy to use, and it's faster. Now here, you're supposed to find the T. So basically, 39 is multiplied by 36. So you can put it like this, 39 times 360 over T, which is the total number, will equal 195, equal 195, like this. And then you multiply the numbers on top, 39 and 3, 39 times 160. It will give you 14,000. So 14,000 and 40 over T. This will give you what? 195. 195. So basically, we're trying to find the total number of people. Now, I'm going to take the T to the other side because it's divided. I'm going to take it by multiplying here. And because this one's going to be multiplied, I'm going to take the 195 by dividing. So basically, I'm switching between the T and the 195. So at the end, I'll get T equals this 14040 divide 195. By that equation, I'm going to find the value of T, which is the total number of people. So I'm going to divide it here. So 14040 divide 195, and I will get 72. So the number of people is 72. So T equals 72. Now, after finding the number of people, I can use it with the chocolate people to find the part number. I'm going to use the same thing here. I'm going to say part P over T, which is the 72. So P over 72 times 360 will equal to 75. And then I'm going to make P the subject, and I'll find the same number, which is 15. As I said, this is a longer method. It's easy to use the X method in this question. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 12. A circle has radius 8.5. Look out the circumference of the circle. Give your answer correct. 3 significant figures. First, you need to know the rule of the circumference. Circumference will equal what? Very good. It will equal 2 pi r. So 2 pi r. You have to understand and memorize the formulas at the same time. So the formula of the circumference or perimeter is 2 pi r. It means we're going to multiply 2 by pi by r. R is the radius, so we multiply 2 by 3.14 by R, which is 8.5. And I'll get the total number. So 2 times 3.14 times 8.5. And the answer is 53.38. This is the answer in the calculator. Now I need to put it or round it to 3 significant figures. So I need 3 numbers. When I need 3 significant figures, I'm going to put a box on the 3 numbers that I want, which are here. Now take a look at the number outside of the box. The number outside of the box here is 8. 8 is a big number. It means it's going to add 1 to the 3 here. It means I'm going to have 53.4. So the number rounded to 3 significant figures will be 53.4 centimeters. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 13. Expand. Expand means what? It means what's outside of the bracket, take it and multiply it inside the bracket. So x will be multiplied by the 3 and then multiplied by the negative x. So when we multiply, x times 3 equals what? So x times 3 is going to be 3x. And then x times negative x is going to be negative x squared. Negative x squared. Now, this is the answer of expanding. Now, we can't simplify it anymore because they have different variables. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question B, factorize fully. As we said before, factorizing means breaking down these elements into their prime factors. So here, I'm going to break this down. So 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. And then we have an A, so it's going to be multiplied by A. Same idea here. We have 18. 18 is 2 times 2, which is 4. Now, can we multiply the 4? Let's see. 2 times 3 is going to be 6. Let's do this. Yes, 2 times 3 is going to be 18, because 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. And remember, all of these will be multiplied to get this number. And then we have a B. Now we take a look at the numbers. We find the ones in common. We make a line on them and take one of them. So each one's in common, we'll take one of them like this. So here we have 2, and here we have 3. So we have the 2 and the 3 in common. Now we take the ones in common, multiply them like this. 2 times 3 is going to be 6. We write it here, and then we open a bracket. Inside the bracket, we take a look at the first group. We find it's 2A, so it's going to be 2A. And then we put the sign, minus, and then the next group will be 3B. We write 3B. And this is how you factorize fully. Make sure that you have nothing in common inside the brackets. That's the meaning of factorize fully. Now let's move on to the next question. Let's see. There are 8 slices of cheese in each small pack of cheese. So each small pack has 8 slices. So we're going to call these S, so 8S. Now, 20 slices of cheese in each large pack, so let's call them 20L, and we'll see what's going on here. Afrin buys H small packs, so small packs are called H of cheese, and J large packs of cheese, large packs are called J. She buys a total of T slices of cheese. Write down a formula for T in terms of H and J. As we said, the small ones will be H, and the large ones will be J. And we already know that H has 8, so it's going to be 8H. And J has 20, so it's going to be 20J. And the total amount will be adding the 8H, and the 20J to give you T. So we're going to write it as a formula like this. T, which is the total, equals 8H plus 20J. And this is how you write a formula in terms of H and J. Now, if they tell you to use the formula, you're going to use the letters here. For example, if he buys or she buys 2 small packs, you're going to put 2 instead of the H. Or 5, let's say large packs, you're going to put 5 instead of the J and multiply it by 20, and then do the calculation to find the total price. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 14. $1 will equal to 0.85 euros. $1 will equal to 6.45 yen. Now, question A, change $720 to euros. In this question, we're going to use the exchange rate to answer the questions. First, let's use the X method. Let's do the boxes for the X method like this. You can use the X method or the boxes method with a lot of questions. They will help you a lot, and they make things easier. So first, we need dollars to euros. We're going to use the exchange rate of dollars and euros. First, let's write dollars here. So D for dollars, E for euros. So $1 will equal how many euros? 0.85. Now here we have $720. So we write it here, 720. Now we need to know how many euros it will equal. So basically we put X in the middle and then multiply the ones connected with the line and divide on the number that you didn't use. So basically we're going to multiply these and then divide it by 1. So let's multiply them. 0.85 times 720. And the answer is 612. So the answer will be 612 euros. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the exchange rate on top, and then use it to find the value that you need. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question, change 2,580 yuan to euros. So here we have the yuan, and we're going to use the exchange rate of that. So same idea. I'm going to put the boxes. First, we don't have an exchange rate between these. We don't have. We can make an exchange rate. Now, here, because this one equals this one, it means this one will equal to this one. Now you have to understand this because here $1, $1. This one is equal to this one. It means this is equal to this. And you can use this exchange rate same way. Now, if I want to use it, I'm going to put here euros and yens or yans. Now, if these numbers are not the same, it means you have to make them the same so you can use an exchange rate of these. So basically, this equals to this. Or you can turn the yen to dollars and then turn the dollars to euros. Same idea. So let's do this. Let's turn this to this and then use it the same way. Okay. So we're going to change the yen to dollars first. So here, yen and dollar. Let's use the dollar to yen. And then use the dollar to euros to turn it to euros. So first, dollar to yen. Let's use the boxes. So we know that each dollar will equal to 6.45. 6.45. So we're going to turn this amount of money to dollars, okay? So here, 2580. As you can see, I put it under the yuan. I didn't put it under the dollars because I want to know how much dollars is it. We put the same units under each other, okay? Now we use the X method. Now here in the X method, I'm going to multiply this by the number connected to it and then divide it by the number I didn't use it. So let's do it that way. So 2580 multiply 1 and then divide 6.45. And the answer is 400. So first I turned it into dollars. Now we have $400. This one is $400. Now I'm going to use the $400 and turn it into what? Into euros because I need it into euros. Good. Now I'm going to use the same boxes, but I'm going to remove the exchange rate and change it. This exchange rate. Now I'm going to use the $1 to euros to turn the dollars into euros. So here I'm going to put 0.85 here, 0.85. As I said, I want to use the same exchange rate. I'm going to use the same boxes here. Now, I turned 2,580 yuan to dollars, which is 400. Now I'm going to turn them to euros. So this one's going to be euros, okay? Same idea. I'm going to do the X method, multiply this by this, and then divide by 1. So I'm going to use a calculator here. So 400 times 0.85 and then divide by 1 is going to be 340. So the final answer is 340 euros. As I said, you can use the other method, which is faster, because $1 here will equal $1. It means this one will equal this one. So you don't have to do all the steps. You can directly use this one. And by directly using this one, it means you're going to do it that way. Let's do it here. Now, this one is not going to be dollars. It's going to be yuan. And as I said, because they're equal to each other, so 6.45 yuans will equal to 0.85 euros. Now you're going to turn this yuan, which is 2,580 to 580 into euros by multiplying these and then dividing by 6.45. So let's multiply 2,580 times 0.85 and then divide by 6.45, and the answer will be the same, which is 340 euros. And this is how you answer a question like this. Whatever step you want to use, it's not a problem as long as it takes you to the right answer. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 15. Fen is asked to find the value of 5 plus 3 squared plus 12. Here is his working and his answer. So he said that 5 plus 3 squared plus 12 will equal 8 squared. It means he added these together, 5 and 3, and then he did the squaring part and added the numbers at the end. Finn's answer is wrong. Explain what Finn has done wrong in his answer. Now, in his work, yes, as we said, he added these, and you're not supposed to do this because the rules of BidMass that you should follow, they say that finish the bracket first, and we don't have brackets here, and then finish the index first. So he didn't finish the index, he added before the index. This is the idea that made him have a wrong answer. So the answer or the correct answer that he should follow is finishing the index first and then add with the 5 in the back. And this is the explanation that you should write. Now let's move on to the next question. Write one pair of brackets in this calculation so that the answer is correct. So put one pair of brackets. As you can see in the question here, we can put brackets in two places. Now, for this part here, we can't put brackets because it's already multiplying first. So here, we don't have to put brackets. So we can put brackets here, like this, or we can put brackets here. I'll change it to blue so you can see the options, like this. So it might be the blue one or the red one. You can do that in the calculator and check. So the answer must be 10. So first we write 2 times 6 minus 4 squared minus 14. So this is the equation that I have. The answer is negative 18. Now I will put brackets to try and make it 10. So first let's put them before the 6 and after the 4 squared. The answer that it gave me is negative 34, so it's not right. Now I'm going to remove them. Now put them here, 4 squared, before it and after the 14. And the right answer is 10. And this is how you answer a question like this. So I tried both brackets. The blue ones were right, so I'll leave them like this for the answer. Now let's move on to the next question. Out the value of x squared plus 5y when x equals negative 3 and y equals 2. Now, when you work out something like this, it means you have to take the value of the variable and put it instead of the variable itself. But when you remove a variable, make sure that you put brackets instead of it and put the number inside the brackets. So for this one, I'm going to put brackets for x squared and then write the value here, which is negative 3, like this, and then put the square outside the bracket like this. This is very important. So if I remove a variable, I put a bracket and then put the number instead of the bracket, and then I put it like this. Now, after that, I have plus 5. I want to remove the y, so I put brackets and put the value of y, which is 2, inside the bracket. Now, when I put the whole thing in the calculator, it will give me the right answer. So bracket, negative 3, bracket, squared, and then plus 5 bracket 2 close bracket. And I will get the right answer, which is 19. And this is how you answer a question like this. So make sure that when you remove a variable, put brackets instead of it and put the numbers or the values inside the bracket. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 16. The scale drawing shows the position of two airports, P and Q. So we have airport Q and airport P. Question: scale is 1 centimeter presents 50 kilometers. Find by measuring the bearing of P from Q. Now, first, we need from Q. From Q means work on Q here. So you're going to measure this with a calculator. And then after that, we're going to use the scale. Maybe. We will see. Let's do the first one first. So here I'm going to take this to the maths pad to find out the measurements of the line. First, I'm going to draw the lines like this. Let's make it thick so I can find the measurements. This is the north line. Let's do it like this. And the north line here. Let's label them Q and P. So basically they need from Q, so you're gonna work on Q. And we know that the bearing is always starting from the north line and going clockwise till it stopped from the other line. Now let's see. Let's go to the maths pad. So here I brought the protractor. I want to measure the angle here. So I put the point on the point, and then I put the line on the line like this. And I start with the zero, which is on the line. So here, this is zero. It's in the bottom part. So I continue on the bottom numbers. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 90, 100. So it's going to be 100. It's not 105. It's before that, maybe 104, 103. So I'll go with 103 or 104. Okay. Now, if you have a 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter uh, difference, it's okay. They will count it as the right answer. And this is how you measure angles. You're supposed to put the point on the point, line on the line, and then you start measuring with the zero on the line. And then you continue until the line stops you. Now, this is the bearing from Q. Now, if you want to find the bearing from P, first you have to understand that bearing is a line that starts from the north line and goes clockwise like this. So same idea here. It starts from the north line and goes clockwise like this. Now, there's an easy method. Instead of measuring here, you just take the one you measured and check. If the number you measured is bigger than 180, you subtract 180. If it's smaller, you just add 180. This one is smaller. It means we're going to add 180 to it. So 104 plus 180 will equal to 284. So the bearing from P is 284. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, in the question, they didn't ask you for the angle or bearing from P. I'm just explaining this to show you that it's easy to take this, add 180 to it, and you'll get the bearing from the other side. Now, let's move on to the next question. Here we found the bearing of P from Q. A small plane flies directly from P to Q. The plane takes 2 hours to fly from P to Q. So the time is 2 hours. Work out the average speed of the plane. Give your answer in kilometers per hour. It means the answer should be in kilometers per hour. Now we already have the time in hours. We know that speed equals distance over time. Now we need to find the distance in kilometers between P and Q. First, we're going to use the scale to find the distance in kilometers. Now, because the scale that I have here is different, not the scale, the paper is different because I can zoom in and zoom out. So I don't actually have the actual size of line PQ, but you can measure the size of the line and then use it the same way I'm going to use it. Okay. So first, let me show you here. So first thing you do, you have to measure the line. You have to measure the line that you have here and then use the scale. Now each centimeter will equal 50 kilometers. Now you write the scale over here. So we're trying to find the distance in kilometers between them. Okay. Okay. Like this. First, this one is the map, and this one is real life. Okay. Now, first we take the scale. 1 centimeter represents 50 kilometers. 1 centimeter is 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers. Now, this is the scale that we have. Now, after you measure QP, you'll find the distance in centimeters. Now, in the mark scheme, they use 9.4 as the distance between Q and P. Make sure that you get the millimeters right. Now, to find the distance or the real life distance, we're going to put the X in the middle like this, and then multiply the ones connected with the line, which is 9.4 and 50, and then divide it by 1. And you'll get the answers in kilometers. So first, let's multiply them. So 9.4 times 50. And the distance will be 470. So 470 kilometers. 470 kilometers. So this is the real life distance between Q and P. Now we're going to use it to find the speed. As we said, it took 2 hours to fly from P to Q, and the distance is 470 kilometers. Now, speed equals what? Speed equals distance divide time, equals distance divide time. So speed equals distance divide time. Focus on the steps, focus on the measurements, and you'll be okay. Now, when you divide distance over time, you'll get the speed. We already know the distance, which is 470. So 470 divide the time, which is 2. And by the way, you have to make sure that you have the units that they need. Distance must be in kilometers and time must be in hours. Now, if the time is not in hours, you have to turn it into hours. Same idea with the distance. Now, you divide them by each other because we already have the units. So 470 divide 2 will give me 235 kilometers per hour. And this is how you answer a question like this. So make sure that you focus on the units and focus on the calculations that you do. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 17. Show that 4 and 3, 2 over 3 divide 1 and 1 over 5 equals 3 and 8 over 9. First, we're going to do this and then turn the answer into mixed number and check if they are the same. So first, we're going to turn the mixed number that we have into improper fractions by using the method, which is using the same denominator first. So let's use the same denominator here, which is 3. And then doing the multiplying addition method. So we multiply these. And then we add the answer with the numerator to get the new numerator. Same idea with this one. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 2 will be 14. So this one is 14 over 3. And then we have divide here. So this one is division, like this. Now we do the same with this fraction. So the denominator will be the same, which is 5. And then we multiply 5 by 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So this one will be 6. Now, because we are dividing two fractions by each other, we're going to use the keep, change, flip method. So keep, change, flip. This method is used when you divide fractions by each other. So you have to keep the first fraction, which is 14 over 3, like this. So we keep the first one, and then change the second one. Change what? Change the sign. So it's going to be multiplied. Instead of division, it's going to be multiplied. And then flip the second fraction. Flip the second fraction. So the second fraction will be 5 over 6, like this. Now, you can multiply the fractions by each other because it's easier. When you multiply the numerators by each other and the denominators by each other. So to multiply, I'm going to get the answer here. So 5 times 14 will give you 70. Let's do it here. So it's going to be 70 over 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 6 is 18. Now we're going to simplify this by dividing by 2. So divide 2, divide 2. When you divide 70 by 2 is going to be 35, and 18 by 2 is 9. So the answer in improper fraction is 35 over 9. Now I'm going to turn the 35 over 9 into what? Into a mixed number. And we know that a mixed number has three numbers like this. So first thing we do, we use the same denominator, which is the 9. So first, same denominator. Now we divide the 35 by the 9. So 35 divide 9 is 3.8. It means we can use the 3 here. Now, we can use the method of turning mixed into improper by multiplying these. So 9 times 3 is going to be 27. So I subtract 27 from 35. So minus 27, like this. And I'll get the answer for the numerator. So 35 minus 27 is 8. So the answer will be 3 and 8 over 9, which is the same as the answer given here. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the steps and focus on the calculations that you do with fractions. Focus on the keep, change, flip method, and you'll be all right. And this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.